Mona, thank you for joining us today.
My
Actually, to
pleasure.
all our viewers, of course, Mona Lisa, former chairperson of the ERC, and I can vouch for her integrity, one of our best ERC chairpersons in the history of the agency. Tsaka matagal ko ng kaibigan, naging fellow advocate. So today, in the midst of very high energy and oil prices, Chair Mona, we will not need do a lot of introductions or a lot of paligoy-ligoy, idiretso na natin para maklaruhan yung ating mga viewers, mga kapwa Pilipino, yung naghihirap. What exactly is the problem with our energy prices, specifically on electricity?
Siguro yung unang-una that we need to understand, and siguro paulit-ulit na rin naman natin to naririnig, that unlike our neighbors, our power prices in the Philippines are not subsidized. So yung mga kapitbahay natin na bansa, may subsidy yung kanilang kuryente. Kaya ang tawag na natin doon, artificial prices. Yung atin, ang tawag ay true cost. But in quotes true cost of electricity. Meaning there is no subsidy from government, and all the entirety of the burden, the entirety of paying for the power prices are on the shoulders of consumers. So yun yung, kaya ramdam na ramdam natin yung bigat.
Bakit walang subsidy? Marami tayong klaseng subsidy. May rice subsidy, may uniform subsidy, may meal allowance, kung anong mga allowance, may
Correct.
AKAP, may AX, mga tapusin nating abakada. Bakit wala sa electricity?
Mauubos ang alphabet.
Oo,
Na, ano.
oo.
Actually, merong grupo ng consumers na may subsidy, pero maliit na grupo lang yon. Yun tinatawag natin marginalized consumers or yung nasa off-grid areas. May konting subsidy. But the bulk, aminin na natin, the bulk of the consumers, majority of our consumers are really straight paying customers. Wala pong subsidy kasi po, noong 2001, nireforma yung power sector, pinrivatize siya, and purely, ang tawag natin, purely private sector driven. Hindi na nag-i-invest ang gobyerno sa power generation. So, yung private sector, hindi mo naman maaasahan na manlibre ng kuryente, 'di ba? Kasi negosyo, hindi dahil masama sila or whatever, but it's the nature of their business.
To make money.
To make money. So, and they need to, because inasa na natin sa private sector ng kabuuan, yung paggawa ng kuryente, pati yung pag-deliver ng kuryente, lahat ng components, tawag natin yung buong value chain, privatized na, saan ka magsisingit doon ng subsidy?
So, Mona, when they say that the Philippine electricity prices is the second highest in Asia Pacific after
Actually,
Japan.
highest na yata tayo.
Higher than Japan.
Compared to Singapore and Japan.
May subsidies ba yung Singapore at Japan?
Ang Singapore po wala. Ang Japan meron. Because Japan is still what we call a vertically integrated system. Sa Singapore, tayo lang dito sa bandang ito ng mundo, Singapore and the Philippines are the only ones with what we call purely private. But even at Singapore, hindi din siya maikukumpara sa pagiging private natin. Because remember, Singapore has state-owned or state investments in power generation also. So, hindi din siya purely private. If you think about it, tayo lang talaga yung purely private, market-based, kasi meron tayong spot market, na energy industry or power industry in this
So
part
it
of the
is a
world.
national policy. Ginusto natin because ang gobyerno initially very inefficient, maraming issues sa corruption, kaya
Maraming utang.
isinalagay na lang natin sa pribado.
Yes.
Which fundamentally, hindi naman mali. Tama naman na direksyon. The question now is this. Kung naka-private sector, ang pinakamalaking factor niyan, dapat may open competition. Dapat nagko-compete sila. Kasi yung market talagang lahat mga kailangan ng electricity.
Correct.
Diba?
Correct.
Ano naman yung state of competition sa electricity sector?
pag tiningnan natin, ang competitive sectors, kasi po, kaya kanina binanggit ko yung value chain, kasi maraming, pwede nating mahati sa apat na subsectors, yung power sector. Yung generation, yung gumagawa ng kuryente, transmission, yung nagde-deliver sa mataas na voltahe, distribution, yung nagde-deliver sa mababang voltahe, hanggang umabot sa mga bahay-bahay natin, and then the supply sector, yung mga middlemen na nagbebenta ng diretso sa retail. Ang purely competitive talaga ay nasa generation at sa supply. Doon yung ideally, doon nagbabakbakan para maganda yung presyo ng kuryente. In terms of numbers, to be very, fair, in terms of numbers, mula nang sinimulan yung EPIRA noong 2001, yun po yung nag-restructure
Reforma.
ng power sector natin, na siguro ang private players lang, wala pa sa 40. Wala pa sa
Nationwide.
40 nationwide, because all of them are contracted to Napocor, and then a few, 2 or 3 were contracted to NPC. But the rest are, lahat yon kay Napocor nagkokontrata. Today, more than 200, almost 300 players na tayo in the generation sector. So in terms of numbers, madami na, competitive. But ito nakita namin when I was still at ERC and consistently over the years, maigugrupo mo yung mga players na ito into just maybe 4, 5 groups. And they control the market. They have the large market share. Ayokong sabihin they control the market, but they have the significant market share. So, medyo ang tawag natin doon, mataas pa yung concentration, yung ownership concentration doon sa sector na yon.
When you say 4 or 5 groups, meaning 4 or 5 groups of companies?
Yes.
Okay. So, hinati lang into 200 companies.
Oo.
But in reality, 4 or 5 lang
Yes.
yan. So, we still need more, kumbaga.
We definitely need
Meron
more.
bang desired number? Kunwari sa telco, you would want to see at least 3 or 4. Kasi yung duopoly, sa dalawa lang, hindi talaga bababa ang presyo. So you need 3 to 4 telcos.
Yep.
Sa energy sector, meron bang ganyang numero?
Wala pang na-formulate na ganung numero. Kasi ito siguro yung kailangan nating maintindihan din sa power sector. It's not directly about the number of players. It's about the capacity that they own. Kahit na halimbawa 10 players lang yan, pero almost equal yung capacity na meron sila. Meaning, tigwa 100 megawatts, for example lang to, for ease of discussion. Tigwa 100 megawatts
Let's say
sila.
10% each.
10% each. Medyo maayos yung competition, di ba? Pero kung halimbawa, you have 10 players, pero yung isa doon, 1,000 megawatts, yung dalawa doon, yung the rest, tig to 20 lang sila. Oo, in paper, 10 sila, pero on paper, 10 sila. Pero actually, yung totoong pagpapagana nila doon sa sistema, malayo.
So,
di
ang
ba?
tinatawag niyan, market power.
Yes.
Yung pinaka-importante.
Oo.
Okay, given this situation, yung taxes naman, meron tayong 2 types of taxes sa ating electricity. Ano naman yung masasabi natin dito? At pwede bang mawala na yan, Chair Mona?
Dati
Kung
wala
wala namang subsidy, di tanggalin natin yung buwis na lang. We discussed that na pwede naman baguhin,
okay.
pwede naman babaan, or pwedeng i-abolish.
Yes,
Ano
yes.
kaya yung mga ramifications niyan?
Dati wala namang VAT yung kuryente. In fact, nung napasa yung EPIRA, wala namang VAT. Pero bumalik ngayon nung nabago yung VAT law natin, no. Tapos may portion na zero, tawag natin zero rated VAT, yung mga renewables. Pag galing sa renewables, it's zero rated all throughout the value chain. So may portion naman na So I think either Congress abolishes the VAT entirely or taasan natin yung renewables, share ng renewables sa system para lumaki yung component na walang VAT.
Kasi ang VAT, sa pagkakaintindi natin, is kung VAT kasi on consumers, pagbayad mo, wala ka namang input VAT . So talagang ang consumer
Ikaw ang
talaga mabayad ng
mag-shoulder.
12%. So pwede ba yun na instead of 12% gawing 6%? Or
Pwede.
pwedeng zero din?
Pwede naman.
Para
Pwede
kasi
naman.
may epekto yan sa lahat, Kung
Oo.
halimbawa yung power cost mo, mas
Yes.
mababa yung cost of goods, patakbo ng SME,
Oo.
yung pagbukas ng paaralan, yung consumption.
Yes.
'Di ba? Instead na kung saan napupunta yung household income,
Oo.
doon mo na lang isa-save. Pwede mo maging pagkain. Okay. The other
Correct.
thing that gusto ko rin itanong na hindi ko rin nakikita sa ibang podcast, yung tinatawag na bill deposit ng Meralco. Ano naman tong bill deposit?
Dati, ngayon yata binago na ni ERC yung sistema diyan. Pero recent lang to na binago nila yung sistema na dati bago ka makabitan ng metro, bago ka masimulan ni Meralco na bigyan ka ng kuryente, kailangan may deposit ka on the estimated consumption which is based on the
For 1 month.
appliances, based on your estimated 1 month. Tapos, ano yan, kung good paying customer ka, I think over 3 years, pwedeng ma-refund sa'yo yung deposit mo.
Pwede mag-claim.
Pwede naman
Nagre-refund
talaga.
naman talaga.
Yeah. In fact, merong distributors, private distributors sa ibang lugar, sa ibang probinsya na ang sipag mag-refund
With the
ng
refund process
deposit.
at period, siguro wala nakakaalam nito And our idea of this, hindi naman sa mga big institutions, big companies, they can watch out for their interest
Yes.
Gusto
Mas
natin yung
maliliit.
Juan de la Cruz, Maria de Clara, na pwede pala
Yes,
na mag-refund. So mag-refund na tayo lahat
Pwede naman.
as much as possible. Kasi ang reading ko dyan, as a consumer, lahat naman tayo nagbabayad sa bill deposit is, hindi man imposible hindi mo babayaran yan Maputulan ka Mas nagmamadali ka pa, mas stress ka pa na maputulan. 'Di ba?
In fact, ang bilis magputol, 'di ba, ng kuryente.
Meron bang mabilis, mabagal? Is there a standard to... before we go to that, so to all our viewers and listeners, make sure, kung meron tayong site, ipopost natin sa baba. We'll ask our tech support to do it. Kung how to refund, how to process. Maybe in the next session, pwede natin pag-usapan with the forms and everything, turuan natin. But going to the next topic, sige.
Yung what I wanted to say about yung pag mabilis magputol. Meron naman kasing standard si ERC na dapat may notice, ganyan, and then opportunity to Pero I'm sure na experience na rin ng ibang watchers or listeners natin na parang 1 linggo lang yung palugit sa'yo, wala pa yatang 1 linggo.
Ano dapat?
So, by the time, actually, tama naman yun.
Tama.
Pero kung ano yung effective na notice sana. Kasi maraming nangyayari. Halimbawa ako, isang consumer na hindi ko nakita lalo na yung hindi naka-paperless. Ngayon kasi may option na paperless billing. Pero kung hindi ka naka-paperless, so iintayin mo yung bill.
Maski paperless, paminsan natabunan nga sa email di ba?
Oo. Or hindi mo na-access agad,
Or
ganyan.
na spam.
Oo, or na-spam, So, pag hindi mo nakita agad, whether the printed or the emailed notice sa'yo, usually 1 day lang yung binibigay. Parang, kailangan bayaran mo na to the following day.
So, anong process? Billing statement, di ba? Bayaran mo. Kung wala yan, notice of disconnection na ba kaagad?
Yes, actually.
Yung notice of disconnection, isa, dalawa?
Isa lang.
Isa lang.
Oo.
So, after notice of disconnection, ilang days yan? May
3
nakalagay
days
ba?
yata. Meron namang days, sorry, hindi ko memorize yung number. Pero meron yan number of days.
So, dapat mga viewers natin, as soon as you notice it, di ba? Statement of account, bayan na kaagad.
Yes.
Diba? Kung wala, notice disconnection,
Oo.
mabilis, diba?
Ang nagiging problema, halimbawa ready na si consumer magbayad, pero hindi tatanggapin ito yung ilang beses na tong mga marami ding nagreklamo dati sa ERC, na sasabihin nila, kaka-receive ko lang. So gusto ko na magbayad kasi bukas na ako, nakalagay doon, bukas na pala ako puputulan. Gusto kong magbayad kung sino yung nag-serve sa akin, hindi niya tatanggapin. Kailangan pumunta ka dun sa opisina ng Meralco or ng DU, ng utility mo or ng electric cooperative mo, tapos doon ka magbayad. Kung halimbawa ikaw ay nag-oopisinang tao, nagtatrabaho, wala ka talagang panahon.
online yan?
Kung may facility, hindi, actually may delay kasi yung online payment kung kailan magre-record or magre-register sa account mo.